Himalayas is actually a gold mine for the anthropologist and the archaeologist as well. There are pockets in the Himalayas, especially in the remote areas of Himalayas, which retain so much of cultural information, which is immensely useful to identify the migration path along any river course which may have taken place very early in the human civilization. Kagbeni, located in the north central Nepal at the higher end of Kaligandaki river valley, is one of the oldest village of Nepal and has retained many such characteristics which I thought was extremely interesting. Though now Kagbeni is connected with Pokhara by a land route, fair weather land route, but there is an airport, small airport at Jomsom, which is very close to Kagbeni. So we decided that on our onward journey we would fly from Pokhara to Jomsom, which was only half an hour flight, and during our descent from Kagbeni to Pokhara we will follow the land route. Located on the bank of Kaligandaki river, Kagbeni is situated in the lower Mustang Valley of Nepal, and the route to upper Mustang Valley actually originates from the northern end of the village. I would like to share a few clippings of the village.
We have now reached Kagbeni. This is the view from our hotel. We can see Nilgiri peak very clearly. It's a very photogenic peak, but it remained covered with clouds most of the time, even during the end of September. Kaligandaki river is rather wide as it descends from the north to Kagbeni, while it forms a narrow gorge as it flows south of the village, where a wooden bridge is constructed to cross the river. Tiri is the village on the other side of Kaligandaki. To go beyond Kagbeni on the north to the upper Mustang Valley, one needs a permit for at least 10 days, costing $50 a day. This is the point where the restricted area starts. This is the notice board warning the visitors about the restricted area beyond. The trek route going to the Upper Mustang Valley from Kagbeni. This is the view from our terrace. We could see the rooftops of the other houses as well as the path down below. Llamas exchanging pleasantries with the villagers. Shepherds taking their flock of sheep for grazing early in the morning. One naughty and inquisitive sheep deviated from the course, but the shepherd kept an eye. A water channel passing through the center of the village, brought from the nearby stream, serving a useful purpose. As you can see, a lady washing her clothes. On the left is a community prayer hall. You can see a gentleman taking a lot of care to help an elderly lady climb the stairs. You can see another lady who is rather reluctant to climb down a staircase and come up through the next to reach the prayer hall. She is actually taking a shortcut. This is the view of the interior of the community hall. We come back to the path below our terrace. This girl is not very brave and takes a safer route, avoiding the flock of sheep. From our terrace, we could see other houses with stacks of wood piled up on the rooftops as winter stock. It is said that the amount of wood stacked on the roof indicates the financial status of the owner. In the background, one can see the ruins of a palace. Scholars could identify holes on the outer walls of this building. They were of the opinion that this old palace acted as a fort and could defend its owners in times of trouble. A part of the palace or the house has now been converted into a heritage hotel. Just adjacent to it is the community prayer hall. And in the background, once again, we can see the Nilgiri peak. These are a few clippings of the Kagbeni village as we went out in the morning.
Almost navy houses.
This religious monument, a sort of a chorten at the middle of a wide lane. This is a point where 3 such lanes meet. The village has a very unique layout with interestingly designed houses. As you can see, wide lanes with 2 and 3-storied buildings on either side. Ground floor is often used as cattle sheds, the door opening directly into these common lanes. Dwelling units are located on the first and the second floors with wooden and stone staircases to access them. Now the people there speak in Tibetan language and have adopted Tibetan Buddhism. This village is located in a highly active seismic zone, but we can see that these old constructions have managed to withstand major earthquakes which are very common in this region. This village is certainly several hundred years, if not few thousand years old. In that way, it has a very unusual layout and stone structures and has withstood the test of time. Several lanes from different directions converge here. Lanes often pass under the houses as tunnels. This is one of the entrances to the interior of the village. This northern entrance of the village is guarded by a very interesting male figure, a protected deity of the village or a Dwarpal, meaning a gatekeeper. It has a sword in. Only scholars of the subject would be able to elaborate further. This main entrance leads to the central courtyard. This open space in the olden days possibly served as a meeting point or as the festival ground. Several lanes converge at this courtyard from all directions. Stone and wood have been primarily used for the construction of the buildings. There are several crossroads where lanes from 4 directions meet. Sometimes there are wooden staircases to climb to a higher floor or the stone staircases. This is a point from where passages are going to all 4 directions. This village was constructed by a community long ago who certainly had a fairly good idea about civil construction. This is a unique village in a remote high-altitude area of Nepal. For that matter, we do not see anything like this anywhere in the Himalayas. This passage is going for about 30 yards under this building. You can imagine if it was constructed long back, how confident the builders were to attempt to build something like this. They certainly had a very good knowledge regarding civil engineering. All these structures have survived frequent earthquakes in the region, including a recent one. Staircases going up into the residential areas. One can hear chanting of religious scriptures from many of these buildings, as well as from the monastery and the community prayer halls. This is near river Kaligandaki, where prayer wheels are arranged in a row on a wall. These are spinned by the devotees as and when they pass them by. The community is very religious minded and spend a major part of their time in religious activities. This is the Kagbeni monastery. On the right is the old monastery, while on the left a new monastery complex is under construction. We were fortunate enough to have been permitted to observe the rituals of the monastery in the old complex, where we saw the rituals actually being performed by the lamas. The rest of the building is the boarding house for the lamas, where young lamas live and are taught all subjects related to the Tibetan Buddhism. This is the other entrance of the village, the southern entrance. There is a striking feminine figure, possibly another protector deity of the village. It is interesting to note that while the larger masculine figure on the northern entrance has a sword in hand, the smaller feminine deity guarding the southern entrance has her hands folded with a gentle gesture of namaste, which in Hinduism is often used to welcome a guest. Only scholars would be able to appreciate the difference and elaborate further.
It is apparent that it is a very old village which has remained occupied for a very long period, if not for thousands of years. It may have changed her features over a period of time to some extent as the new influence has engulfed the region. Now the villagers speak in Tibetan and have adopted Tibetan Buddhism over a period. Charming view of the Himalayan mountains all around is a delight to the eye, and the colorful mountain surface itself is extremely striking.
At Kagbeni, we stayed at a heritage hotel. It is quite neat and clean with a wonderful ambience. It is possibly a part of the old palace which is renovated and converted into a boutique hotel. A buffalo horn is mounted on the top of the entrance, which is considered as auspicious. A view of the rooms of the ground floor, a staircase climbing up to the first floor, a view from the first floor with the rooms arranged on the left. A strong wind blows in the region, especially during the afternoon. This is the prayer hall. This image is very interesting, where 4 animals are arranged one above the other. An avian species on top, thereafter a quadruped, followed by a monkey or an ape, and finally an elephant at the bottom. A courtyard colorfully painted, a nice lounge. These are hotel rooms with a splendid view of the greenery outside and the view of the Nilgiri range. Kagbeni is actually located at the confluence where a stream coming down from Muktinath joining river Kaligandaki coming from the right. This confluence is considered as a holy place where the Hindus of Nepal perform religious rituals. They come all the way from the plains of Nepal to this remote high altitude village to perform the rituals of Shraddha and Tarpan, Hindu ceremonies for paying tribute to the spirit of their deceased ancestors. That indicates that long back this was a Hindu settlement and was a holy place and a religious center for them. And thus the custom to perform the Hindu rituals at this holy place still continues. This board points towards the site of the confluence where the Shraddha and Tarpan rituals are actually performed. You can see the gentleman going down towards the meeting point of two streams and actually performing the rituals. Just across the river, on the western bank, at the confluence, there are several man-made caves arranged in a row on the mountain surface. There is a wooden bridge at the narrowest zone of the river Kaligandaki. Strong wind blows there during afternoon. It has been a remarkable experience exploring this unique village of Kagbeni, the holy Hindu place and the religious center of yesteryears.